All right, buckle up, everybody, because today we're going deep into Genesis 3.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
the big one.
Adam and Eve, that forbidden fruit, that whole, like, fall from grace thing.
Right.
But we're going beyond just the surface level.
Yeah.
We're going past the Sunday school version.
We are.
We're looking at the psychology behind temptation.
Absolutely.
The ripple effects of the choices that they made.
Yes.
And how this story still speaks volumes about human nature today.
Oh, for sure.
So
Thousands of years later.
thousands of years later.
It's still relevant.
Still relevant.
Yeah.
This isn't just some religious text.
No.
You see these themes
Everywhere.
all over literature, art, philosophy.
Literature even.
I mean, it's like,
it's everywhere.
it's this foundation.
It's a foundational story.
That has shaped how we view good and evil.
Temptation.
Temptation, knowledge, power.
Yeah.
Our relationship with, like, whatever you consider to be the higher power.
Right.
So it's like the original psychological thriller.
It is, yeah.
So we got this garden. Right. Paradise. No bills, no deadlines.
Just good vibes.
Chill vibes.
Endless snacks. Yeah.
Right? But there is one rule.
Okay.
Don't eat from the tree of knowledge. The one rule.
Seems simple enough, right?
It's easy peasy, right?
Santa, no. But then, enter...
Here he comes.
The serpent.
Then.
This is where things get really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Because he doesn't come in with a big booming voice like, hey, ignore God, eat the fruit.
No. He's much more...
He's much more subtle.
There's cunning.
He's sly. He's like, did God really say you can't eat from any tree in the garden?
Yeah, he's planting that little seed of doubt, right?
Yes.
Like, hey, maybe God's not being totally honest with you.
Right.
Maybe you're missing out on something.
Yeah, he's making Eve question God's motives. Like, is he holding back something good? Is he being unnecessarily restrictive?
It's a classic manipulation tactic.
Oh, wow.
Questioning the authority rather than the command itself.
Okay.
Think about how often we see that leaders sowing distrust in institutions, media outlets, spinning narratives.
Right.
Even in our personal relationships, when someone tries to, like, undermine your trust in another person.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
This suddenly feels very...
Real world.
Real world, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't stop there, right?
No.
He goes in for the kill.
He goes for the kill.
With the ultimate promise.
Yeah. God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened.
Yeah.
And you will be like God, knowing good and evil.
Knowing good and evil. Right. He's tapping into
our primal desire, right?
Yes.
The desire for knowledge.
For power.
For power, for the ultimate upgrade.
It's like that age-old question, would you sell your soul for ultimate knowledge?
And let's not forget how the fruit is described in the text.
Oh, this is good.
It's not just some, like, random apple.
It's not just any apple.
It's good for food, pleasant to the eyes, desirable to make one wise.
It's hitting all the senses.
It's appealing to all the senses.
Yeah.
This is a full-on...
Designed to overwhelm their willpower.
Yes.
Right. You can just picture, like, this vivid, this allure.
Yeah, and it's something that we still grapple with today.
For sure.
That temptation to
compassion.
Thread of compassion.
Yeah, like a parent, right?
Yes.
Disciplining a child, but still offering comfort.
And finally,
here we go.
We get to the banishment.
From Eden.
God says, "The man has now become like one of us, knowing good and evil. He must not be allowed to reach out his hand and take also from the tree of life and eat and live forever."
It's interesting, right?
It is.
Because God seems concerned about them living forever.
Forever.
In a state of sin.
So it's almost like
the banishment is
protection. They're being kicked out of paradise.
Yeah.
But it's to prevent them from becoming
eternally corrupted.
Corrupted.
It's a lot to unpack.
It is a lot.
But here's what I always come back to. What does it all mean for us?
I know. What's the takeaway?
Thousands of years later?
How many times have you been drawn to something you know you shouldn't do?
Oh, yeah.
That desire for something forbidden.
Right.
Whether it's, I don't know, a piece of gossip or a risky investment or
that extra cookie.
That extra cookie when you're trying to be healthy.
We all have that little serpent whispering in our ear. It's part of being human.
It really is. And this story of Adam and Eve, it isn't just about
some ancient rule being broken, right? It's more like it's a mirror reflecting our own capacity for both good and evil. Our ability to make choices that have consequences.
What if they hadn't eaten the fruit, though?
Ooh, good question.
What if they just stayed in that blissful state?
Of ignorance.
Yeah.
Never knowing the difference between
good and evil.
Good and evil.
Would they have been truly happy?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
It is.
Is ignorance bliss?
I don't know.
Or is there something in us that drives us to seek knowledge?
Even if it comes at a cost.
Even at a cost,
Maybe that awareness of good and evil, that capacity for making choices is what actually makes us human.
It's what separates us.
Think about the implications, though.
Okay.
If knowledge is what separates us.
From that state of innocence?
Yeah. Does that mean every time we learn something new, we're taking a bite out of that apple?
I like that.
I mean,
that's a good way to...
I mean, it's not about avoiding knowledge.
Right.
But about understanding the responsibility.
The responsibility that comes with it.
That comes with it, yeah.
Adam and Eve's mistake.
Yeah.
It wasn't just gaining knowledge. It was acting on it.
Without
understanding the consequences.
So it's not the knowing.
Right.
It's the doing.
It's the application of that knowledge.
Yeah, like maybe knowledge itself isn't good or bad.
It's a tool.
But it's what we choose to do with it.
That matters, exactly.
I feel like Genesis 3 isn't giving us a black and white answer here.
Not at all.
It's more like it's prompting us
to ask questions.
Yeah, examine our motives.
Yeah.
Consider the consequences of our choices.
Right.
And to recognize that even in our,
flaws and mistakes. There's a possibility, growth and redemption.
My mind is officially blown.
This isn't just some ancient story. It's like a roadmap for being human.
Yeah, for navigating all the complexity of being a human.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's powerful stuff.
It is powerful.
These timeless stories, they transcend time and culture.
They do.
Because they speak to something,
fundamental
about us.
About being a human. Yeah.
About being human. So as you go about your day, think about those choices you're making.
Right.
Are you acting from a place of knowledge and understanding? Or are you letting that little serpent,
the inner serpent,
lead you astray?
Ooh, that's a great point.
That's the takeaway.
That's the ultimate takeaway.
Right there.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive
into Genesis 3.
We'll catch you next time
for another deep dive.
For another exploration of the ideas that shape our world.